Hey guys, welcome to Rising Vibrations. This reading will be for Aries. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus for the period of now and into the middle of May 2019. So this will cover the period of the eclipse. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up. And thank you guys for finding the channel and watching. This is for Aries. Happy birthday, Aries. So Aries, what do you need to know about the next 3 to 4 weeks? Especially concerning the full moon that we have in Libra. What does Aries need to know about this? We have the Three of Wands. I feel like you can expect life, or you're expecting life to take a new direction, to take a new turn. You may already be in the process of really changing up your life, or coming to a realization that you have to let something or someone go. This feels like you're ready to do this, like you have been planning it, and somehow you got the motivation to bite the bullet. So this feels like, to me, someone who's biting the bullet. It can be that you've decided that you have to change your job or change your work, that you no longer like what you're doing and you really want to change, but you're doing it, or the opportunity is coming in for you to change up your life. And it's really up to you if you follow through and do it. So what else does Aries need to know about the full moon and what's coming up over the next 3 to 4 weeks, and how they can be successful? What does Aries need to know? We have the Two of Swords. Again, this might be some possibilities or opportunities presented to you that you don't feel like you can take advantage of. Sorry for that. You don't feel like you can really take advantage of it right now at this point in your life, or you're not really willing to make some of the changes right now that might be required of you. So if you're offered a new work opportunity or a new work assignment and you have to travel, maybe you have family obligations that won't allow this, whether you want to do it or not, or you may have to relocate, but you're not really ready to do it, or you're concerned about making big moves or big waves, where normally you might be courageous or feel excited about it. I feel like the Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus doesn't really want to make any of these changes right now if they're required. So specific to relationship dynamics, what do we have for Aries? I would like to be more specific. This is about relationships. What do we have for Aries? We have Major Arcana, the Chariot. Again, I feel like this is someone who's maybe not quite ready to bite the bullet with the Two of Swords and the Three of Wands here. They feel like there might be something else open to them, because this is for the relationship. With the Chariot here, they're not absolutely sure that their partner, or the person who's being put before them as an option, they're not exactly sure if this is the right person, or they're not exactly sure how much they want to commit, or what level of commitment is appropriate for this situation. What else do we need to know about relationship issues for Aries for the next 3 to 4 weeks over the full moon in Libra? What else does Aries need to know? We have the Eight of Swords. So this is someone who's not really ready to move forward. They're not really ready to, they're not convinced. The Aries is not convinced. They're not convinced about their actions, or they're not convinced about the actions of someone else, or someone else has shown them in a way that they can't really be trusted. So they might be doubting the trustworthiness or the commitment level of others around them. They don't feel sure of who they can trust here. So specific to work and money, financial issues, what does Aries need to know about the next 3 to 4 weeks, especially if they're looking for work or they want to change their job? We have the Page of Pentacles. I don't see that this is really desired, and we have the major arcana Judgment. So I feel like this is a person who, if they can have or achieve big changes where they are, they're fine with them. But if it requires too much of an upset or too much change or modification of their lifestyle, meaning they have to move apartments or their work location is changing further away where they have a longer or bigger commute, they're not really ready or wanting to do that. Change is okay as long as it's not too disruptive to the regime or too disruptive to the habit of what they're already doing. This is not somebody who's looking for any big upsets to their lifestyle. So even if it's a relationship, as long as the commitment can keep them in the same vein of where they are, they're okay with it. But if they have to make too many changes, even move apartments, move into a bigger apartment, move to the city or move to the suburbs if they're in one of the other location, I feel like the Aries isn't really up to that or wanting to do that. So how can the Aries get to or find a higher ground? What's the higher ground for Aries, especially for their birthday month and period? What's the higher ground? We're just leaving it, but what's the higher ground over the next 3 to 4 weeks for Aries? What's the higher ground? We have major arcana the Hierophant. And we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this is somebody who's sticking with the tried and true. They're sticking with people who have already proven themselves. They've stuck with people, or they want to stick with people where they already know what they're capable of. Or this could be someone with the Aries as well. And the Aries might be feeling like they can only count on themselves, or they only want to count on themselves. Or they might even be feeling a bit like a lone wolf, like they feel like they're a lone wolf and they feel like they want to be a lone wolf, or they want to be alone. I can do it alone, or I want to be alone. So what's the final advice for Aries over the next few weeks? Let's just try to see what the final advice is in terms of what they can do to feel good about their life and the direction of their life and future. What do we have for Aries? We have the Princess of Wands. This is someone who's, again, focusing on themselves, taking a time out in a way, trying to do things that you enjoy versus things that you have to do, not being so focused on the mundane. It feels like someone who needs to take a break and have a little bit of fun, especially if you bypass doing this on your birthday, or you were a bit hesitant about your birthday, or had a bit even a phobia about your birthday and getting older, or feeling like time is passing you by. Maybe you bypassed parties or spending time with friends or doing something for yourself. But I feel like it's something that needs to be celebrated, or you just need to celebrate life and yourself, Aries. It will be good for you and good for your motivation level. Let's see what else Aries needs to do over the next few weeks to get to that higher ground and to find a higher ground. This is for Aries. We have now the Prince of Swords next to the Princess of Swords. That's interesting. On top of the Two of Swords. You know, if you're confused about starting over or making a decision, obviously it's better to hold off on it than to make a rush decision that you're going to regret later. I feel like there's a possibility that you might make some brash decisions or cut off people suddenly and then regret it later because you did it when you were angry, or you sent out an email while you were angry when you might have needed to take some time to reflect, especially if this is a dynamic with another person. That is better if you take some time to reflect about things and about what you really want before you say anything or you're pressured by your ego to have a certain reaction, especially if you feel like you have to save face. What else can Aries do to find a higher ground over the next 3 to 4 weeks? What else can Aries do to get to or find a higher ground? What will help them in the next 3 to 4 weeks? We have the Two of Cups. You know, if you found someone who you know is reliable, they're looking for a commitment, they want to have a more exclusive relationship, and if you know that there's a good person, that this is a good person, you might have a fear about losing that person, and you might know that really in reality that it might be time to make a commitment, and that if you don't, that you really might lose that person. And it really does look like that to me, that this is kind of, you're at a fork in the road where you have to decide if you continue to move forward or if you cut the relationship, or the person will do this with you. This can also be with an employer, by the way. So what are we getting to for the final advice? And then we're going to pull one of the good tarot and read it for Aries. The final. We have Major Arcana Death. This is telling me that if you want to be alone, you can be alone, but sometimes it's better to work in tandem or with a group, because no man is an island. No man is an island, you know, and yeah, it's just something to think about. No man is an island, not even you, Aries, and this is not to judge. I have an Aries moon, guys. You might be realizing that you want to be with somebody. It might scare you. You might be settling down. It also might scare you, but in the end, only you know if it's worth it. So the final advice that we have for Aries, let's go ahead and take this. We have the Four of Cups. What an interesting final result. Let's go ahead and read that. I'm very interested to see what this is about. I'll hold it up for you. Dreaming and introspection, contemplation, trusting in the abundance of opportunities. A lull in the action offers a chance for me to dream even bigger than before. Whenever plans turn out to not have come to fruition as expected, I feel secure knowing that even greater things may await me. The universe conspires on my behalf, and disappointment and sadness will wash through me if I simply let them flow. I trust that Spirit has many ways of responding to my desires, and what I seek can take a variety of forms. I have faith in perfect timing and divine order. So that's interesting, because there's an element to the reading of waiting and possibly feeling like you missed out on something. That might be really about your own instinct telling you to wait before you do bite the bullet or make that final move. Looks like the energy is supportive of that. So we're going to go ahead and leave it there for Aries. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did, hit the thumbs up. Otherwise, take care. I'll see you guys back here again soon. Bye.